What is up, my friends, my fellow fathers? Welcome to Friday's episode, the Craft of Fatherhood podcast. This is your guide, Ned Shout. I believe our role as fathers has the power to change the world simply by knowing who we are and embracing the adventure. Now, on these episodes, I try to keep them short and sweet, share some stories from my own life, some things that I'm thinking about, things that I'm wrestling with. And today I want to share me ending my son's junior year. So this was the first year I homeschooled him. I worked with a wonderful, amazing lady out of Washington who helped put together the program and take care of all the transcripts and things like that. And now I get that this won't be something that everybody can do. But there's a couple of thoughts that I have that regardless of if your kid's public school, private school, charter school, whatever, some things for you to be thinking about considering. Now, as I think about his year, there are moments that I reflect on us being able to have the freedom for him to go to Texas with me on a trip, to go to Boston with me on a trip. So he didn't have the school that was kind of holding him back from being able to spend time with me on business trips. But as I really reflect on, like, if somebody were to ask me about, like, how was it doing his school year? I would say that it was hard. There are highs and lows to it, but I'm taken back to just last Friday was his last day. And I had written him essentially a letter. And I read it to him, out on the back porch. I brought Sarah, my wife, along. And so I wrote him a letter. And what it said was, first, it had a paragraph of like, Brody, it was a privilege and an honor to do this with you. There was tension, right? I went from being your dad and your friend, in certain things, to being your dad, your friend, and your teacher and your principal and your, did you do this? Did you not do that? He's in the home all the time. And there was tension. There was frustration on behalf. There was, wanting to teach him my way of time blocking on a calendar and getting up and having a morning routine, but then learning his style of getting things done and creating space for him to be a little bit behind, to be able to catch up. So I kind of opened with that. And then I said, here's the areas that I've seen you grow this year, and listed out a bunch of areas I saw him grow. Then I listed off 3 areas that I saw him could use some continued focus on growth. And then I talked about his character and areas that I saw his character growing. And I share this with you. It was hard. And I'm telling you, like, already this week, it's like, that's a new mental space and a few hours on my calendar that's not there. But here's the thought that I want you to have, regardless of what your kid does, is, are you finding ways to speak life in your son? Because as I think about us on the porch, I read him this letter. He read his final kind of report. I read him this letter, and it's like, we shake hands, we hug, I love you, thank you. But here's the question is, are you finding ways to speak life into your son? Are you in close enough quarters where you can see his character, where you can see his skills growing, his knowledge growing, his learning growing? Are you close enough to the work he's doing at school to know when he's half-assing it, when he's, because there's a difference, right? It's like, I could be not that good at math, but, or I could just half-ass it. And so are you close enough to that? And I'll tell you this, your son needs it. On one hand, I reflect back of being in high school, and I did great in school. I was definitely not the smartest kid, but I knew how to get good grades, and that's great. I did it. And, but my parents they weren't on me about it, and it's fine. I don't look back and wish that they were. But I think that there's something to be said about the parents, the father, noticing the wins, the wrestling, and being in tune with it, so that I can say, hey, really good job here. Hey, great here. And hey, I know you can grow here. I've seen you grow here, and granted, I know I don't want us to be on our kids' booty all the time, but everybody, even adults, they want to know, what's the expectation and are they hitting the mark? And so are you close enough to your son's work to be able to know that? And, or are you creating opportunity to build something, to work on something, to cultivate something at home, so that you're putting yourself in situations with your son? So if it's not, you're helping him with his math, his English, his reports, etc., that you are doing things with him to be able to have opportunity to speak life, because it does something for our sons on their way, their process to become a man. So it's okay, like I said, if they go to school, but do not fully relinquish your opportunity / responsibility, because the father's words are significantly more impactful. Teachers, I will say, when you have an incredible teacher, it's awesome. When you have an incredible coach, it's awesome. When you have an incredible youth pastor, it's awesome. But those can't be farmed out or replace what's also your role in your son's life. Now, I am going to give a couple shout outs, a couple things for you. If you're like struggling with how to connect with your son, option one, oh, actually, check it out. I got this right here. Shout out to Aeon Path. This is like a rite of passage tool for daughters and sons. So that's a new tool that's available. If you're looking for something a little bit more intense, if you will, John Tyson had written a book called Intentional Father, and then he has a program called Primal Path. I've been taking Brody through that. There's 5 shifts. Each shift is 13 weeks. Each week has 5 devotionals. It's like, that's no joke, right? That's a lot of devotions to do with your kid, but they're incredible. I've learned a ton. And then Rise Up Kings, you've heard me talk about it. Rise Up Kings, incredible. I've been a part of it since the beginning. They released or launched a rite of passage event for fathers and sons. They've done their 3rd one. I mean, I think the last one was last week, and I think there was 70 total. So like 36 fathers, 36 sons. It's remarkable. There's another one in July. There's one that I'm going to go to as a participant in September 10th and 11th. I just looked on the website. There's 10 spots left. 10 spots left. Go to riseupkings.com / F as in Frank, F as in Frank, N. So fatherhood field note. So riseupkings.com / FFN. If you want to sign up for the September one, because that's the one that I'll be at. Would love to hang out with you. But the cool thing about that is there's a 2-day rite of passage. And then if you want to continue on, there's a mastermind for 6 months after. I've been running that. You've been hearing me talk about it. I haven't done the event yet, but I am going to be a participant in September. And then I'll continue to run the mastermind on the back end, where I meet with the fathers every other week and the sons every other week. And it's truly phenomenal. So a couple of things, but ultimately, do not relinquish your opportunity and responsibility to speak life into your sons. All right, I'm adding this affirmation here on our Friday episodes. Here you go. Repeat after me. I am the CEO or father of this family, whatever feels right. I'm the CEO of this family. I am here to listen, provide for, protect, and care for those that have been placed in my care. I am here to listen, provide for, to protect, and care for those that have been placed in my care. Nobody's going to do this for me. This is my opportunity, my responsibility, and my honor. All right, my dudes, if you like these podcasts, write a review, help spread the word that fatherhood matters. On a side note, my father-daughter children's book is also out. You can go to adventureoffatherhood.com and grab it. It is incredible. I've gotten several messages, dudes, with tears. Like, if you could sip a glass of whiskey and drink and watch or read this without crying, then something wrong with you. It is an incredible opportunity to read to your daughter. Write a review on the podcast. All right, my dudes, remember who you are. You are a father, and that matters. You matter together. Let's rebel against the view that fatherhood has little impact, and let's create lives engaged in mastering the craft of fatherhood. Much love to you, my brothers. I look forward to hanging out with you next week.